Chapter 7. The Hunt for Heartbloom. The cold air clung to their skin as Caleb, Will, Terrence, and Koga ventured deeper into Frostwing Forest. The towering trees stood like silent sentinels, their frost-covered branches whispering secrets as the wind cut through them. Every step felt heavier. Every shadow seemed alive. Izashi's ragged breaths still echoed in Caleb's mind, fueling his determination. They had to find that Heartbloom lily.
"How far is this temple?" Terrence muttered, gripping his axe tightly.
Koga walked ahead, scanning the surroundings. Not much farther, but something feels off.
Caleb exhaled, his fingers tightening around his sword hilt. "You're saying that like it wasn't already obvious."
Will nodded in agreement. "Yeah, this place is practically screaming bad idea."
Suddenly, the air around them shifted. The atmosphere became suffocating. An unnatural chill crawled down their spines, different from the cold of the forest.
Koga's body tensed. We're not alone.
A deep, guttural growl rumbled from the darkness. Then, it stepped forward. A monstrous figure emerged from the trees, taller than any beast they had faced before. Its body was wrapped in blackened armor, a twisted fusion of ice and shadows. Long, jagged claws scraped against the frozen earth, and its hollow, glowing blue eyes locked onto them with ancient malice.
Caleb's breath hitched. "What the hell is that?"
Koga's golden eyes narrowed in recognition. That is a frost revenant.
Will's fingers twitched over his sword. "A what?"
Koga's voice was low. A warrior cursed by the Dark Ones. Once noble, now nothing but a vengeful husk. It feeds off mana and hunts those who dare enter its domain.
The revenant tilted its head unnaturally before lunging forward at blinding speed. Clang! Caleb barely raised his sword in time to block, but the sheer force sent him skidding backward, boots digging into the ice-covered ground.
"Shit! He's fast!" Terrence barked, swinging his axe.
The revenant sidestepped effortlessly, then backhanded Will with enough force to send him flying into a tree.
Koga summoned her blade. We need to work together. This is not an enemy we can fight alone.
Caleb gritted his teeth. He was sick of being on the defensive, sick of running.
Izashi was dying. This thing stood in their way, and Caleb was done holding back. Something stirred within him, an unfamiliar yet powerful force that sent ice racing through his veins. His vision sharpened, his body suddenly weightless as the world seemed to slow. Then it happened. A blinding blue sigil flared to life on the back of Caleb's hand. The mark radiated power, sending frost swirling in the air around him.
Koga's eyes widened. Impossible. Caleb, that's...
Caleb felt it. The knowledge of his ability flooded into him, as if it had always been there. He raised his hand, his breath visible in the freezing air.
"Glacier Lance!"
Crack! A massive spear of pure ice erupted from his palm, forming in mere seconds. The ground beneath him froze solid, the temperature plummeting as arcs of glacial energy crackled around his arm. The frost revenant snarled, sensing the threat. It lunged. Caleb stepped forward, pivoted, and hurled the lance. Foom! The glacier. Lance tore through the air like a comet, piercing straight through the revenant's chest. The creature let out a horrific screech as ice erupted from within, freezing it solid in an instant. For a moment, everything was silent. Then, boom! The revenant shattered into 1,000 frozen shards, its essence erased from existence. Caleb staggered back, panting. The cold aura around him dissipated, his vision slowly returning to normal. His hand still tingled from the power that had just surged through him.
Will groaned, pushing himself up from where he had landed. The hell was that?
Terrence let out a breathless chuckle. Yes, tell me, Ice King.
Koga walked forward, examining Caleb closely. You have awakened your first true ability, she smirked slightly. And quite the impressive one at that.
Caleb glanced at his hand, then at the shattered remains of the Revenant. I didn't even think. It just happened.
Koga nodded. That is how true power is unlocked. In moments of desperation, when your soul demands more.
Will dusted himself off. Okay, that was badass. But we still have a dying guy waiting on us, remember?
Caleb exhaled, shaking off the lingering cold. Right. Let's move.
The group pressed forward, deeper into the ruins of the temple, where the Heartbloom lily awaited. But as they disappeared into the fog, none of them noticed the pair of glowing red eyes watching from the treetops. Something else was here, and it had just found its next prey.